a great honor for me to be invited as the guest of honor at the SEPLAT Energy Summit 2021 with the theme Global Trends in Energy Transition and the Africa Perspective. I congratulate the leadership and entire staff of SEPLAT as this auspicious event also marks the formal unveiling of the brand attributes which bear testament to SEPLAT's movement with the times, evidenced by its full transition to an energy company. At the debut SEPLAT Energy Summit in 2020, I spoke about the challenges that the COVID-19 pandemic posed to the global oil and gas industry, and in particular, the impact on our Nigerian operations. At that time, I spoke on the strategies for sustaining business resilience and sustainability to enable Nigeria navigate the global crisis. Measures that included the curtailment of oil production in response to OPEC Plus initiative to rebalance and stabilize global markets. This distinguished audience will recall that the aim of production cut was achieved as oil prices rebounded from its 2020 lowest point of $10 per barrel as at 21st April 2020 to $43 per barrel as at 23rd July 2020. This was just a week before the SEPLAT Energy Summit, which held on 30th July 2020, and oil price has continued on the upward trend to the current $80 per barrel as at 6th October 2021. Apart from the fact that the world was grappling with the pandemic, in Nigeria, we were also waging a battle of wits to pass the petroleum industry bill. We were tenacious in the pursuit of that objective because we recognized that the PIB, when passed into law, will inaugurate a new era for the industry. Following decades of legislative attempts to strengthen the legal, regulatory, fiscal, and governance framework of the petroleum sector. On 16th August 2021, this aspiration crystallized when Mr. President signed the PIB into law. The new law has enhanced the Nigerian petroleum industry's reputation, provides the pathway to new investments, and consolidates our ability to play a significant role in meeting the world's growing demand for energy. Even more significant is the fact that the passage of this legislation is coming at a time that the global energy investment outlook is becoming clouded by concerted efforts aimed at expediting and enthroning a lower carbon future. The PIA 2021 will undoubtedly assist in harnessing Nigeria's potential to achieve its plan of increasing oil production to 4 million barrels per day and oil reserves from 37 billion barrels to 40 billion barrels, while also drawing on the country's estimated 600 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, to provide clean and efficient energy. These resources will be crucial in supplying world markets with a broad portfolio of energy options, as well as supporting the global endeavor to alleviate energy poverty as envisioned in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, Goal 7. This is our approach to the issue of renewable energy and the energy transition. While acknowledging our commitment to net zero as a nation, there is no gainsaying the fact that Nigeria requires fossil fuel as its baseload energy source. This is undoubtedly a major concern for climate activists in developed nations. But the clamor to emphasize only renewable energy as the sole pathway to energy transition is a source of concern for African countries that are still working to achieve baseload industrialization, address energy poverty, and ensure reliable power supply. This is why in Nigeria, we reject the concept of a single pathway to the energy transition. Indeed, we prefer the concept of just energy transition, which takes into cognizance the specific circumstances of each nation in developing the energy transition pathway that best achieves the environmental, social, political, and economic objectives of the transition in that specific nation. Multiple pathways to the energy transition should and must exist in order to ensure that no country is left behind in the process of achieving net zero by 2050. In Nigeria, the position above recognizes the possibility of a structural decline in the price of oil and consequential fiscal vulnerabilities that may arise, as well as the increased risk exposure, therefore, and is responding to it in several ways. First is the focus on gas. For us, this is at the heart of the energy transition and represents the first step in the journey of renewables away from oil. Already, we have declared that gas is our transition fuel and also represents a destination fuel, as we envisage that it will be part of our energy mix by 2050, given the vast resources that can be commercialized and utilized. Furthermore, generous incentives have been proposed in the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 to enable development, distribution, penetration, and utilization of gas. The National Gas Expansion Program was also launched in January 2020 to drive domestic gas utilization. Our proven gas reserves are sufficient to cover current demand levels and support plans for the construction of 9 new gas-fired power plants with a combined nameplate capacity of nearly 6,000 megawatts by 2037. This validates gas, a viable and transformational fuel for industrial development. This is why President Muhammadu Buhari, who is also the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, has declared 2021 to 2030 as the decade of gas, which provides the fulcrum for focusing effort and resources required of making gas the centerpiece of Nigeria's economy in 2030. The PIA 2021 also preserves existing levels of government take for a transition period through grandfathering provisions and proposes a fiscal regime that encourages investment in order to monetize existing reserves before the clock runs out. Thus, provisions relating to voluntary combustion, production allowances, lower royalties and taxes, cost optimization focus, etc., have been enshrined therein to address the envisaged fiscal vulnerabilities. The deregulation of downstream petroleum sector is yet another strategy proposed to enable the just energy transition in Nigeria. The government is in the process of fully deregulating the downstream sector, petroleum sector, which will end subsidies and free up funds for national development, including investment in renewables, which will be part of the energy mix that ultimately powers our economy. The PIA 2021 also has a general focus on midstream and downstream, as this is where value will be created via a multiplier effect on the economy, infrastructure, employment, and revenues. The newly created Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority is mandated to ensure that this value and other benefits actually accrue to the economy. There is also a focus on diversification of the economy by enshrining incentives that target significant growth in power generation and the creation of a wide range of industrial clusters around fertilizer, petrochemicals, manufacturing, and agro-businesses, among others. Distinguished participants, while preparing for the energy transition, we are committed to the development and monetization of our oil resources as well. Indeed, the recent World Outlook released by OPEC forecasts that oil will still be in high demand by at least 2045. This is why every effort must be made to urgently develop our oil resources optimally, and importantly, to source for alternative sources of investment in the light of the stance of not funding the development of fossil fuels by certain players in the global financial ecosystem. I expect that this summit will address this issue as well as others that have been raised in this address. I am keenly anticipating the outcome of the deliberations from the summit in this regard. To conclude, I hereby wish to once again congratulate the leadership and entire staff of SEPLAT for this event, and thank you for the honor and opportunity afforded me to give this message. I wish us all successful deliberations. Thank you.